guys, it's another episode of Talk Back Chidera. Today on Talk Back Chidera, we're going to be dealing with self-esteem, struggles and strategies of dealing with self-esteem. Now, what is self-esteem? Self-esteem is the general evaluation of your worth as a person. So when you look yourself in the mirror, what do you see? When you look at the mirror, who do you see? Do you see a person who is successful, a person who is going to be successful? Do you see a beautiful, handsome? Do you see someone who has a goal or who is headed somewhere but hasn't gotten there for whatever reason but is going to get there? Or do you see a failure? Do you see someone in never to do well? Or do you see a bastard? Basically, do you see a person who is never ever going to amount to anything in life? Those are the issues we're going to be talking about today. And then some of the reasons why people have low self-esteem is what I call unresolved childhood issues. Some people have unresolved childhood issues. Some people have this feeling that, oh, I was never loved by my parents. My parents see me as a mistake, so I'm never going to amount to anything. They have never shown me love. They have never given me attention. I've always had to scramble and struggle rather for everything that I have and for everything that I am ever going to have. And so for that reason, their self-esteem is low. Now, some of us grew up with lots of people around us, and it still didn't let us, we still felt that way. But we found a way to deal with all of it and then grow up. I'm not saying that my self-esteem level is so high, but I'm saying that as a person, we have all gone through some of these things, but we have found a way to deal with these issues and come out stronger. So I feel like if you're going through such things at this point in life, you're going to come out of it, but you need to be ready to come out of it. You don't have to feel like you belong to a particular place to actually belong, because these things are all mental. They're all in your head. You tell yourself that I belong to this place, then you definitely will belong to that place. Now, some of the other issues or reasons why people have self-esteem issues is what I call expectation and reality. Some people expect too much. I mean, there's a thin line between the expectation and reality, of course, but the point where you're able to discern the difference between your left and your right, and then you understand that you are going to have to do this to get certain results, and you're going to have to do this to get a different result. It's where the reality comes in. But some people still have a distorted reality. They just don't want to believe that this is going to happen or this has happened. So they keep living an illusion. They keep living in a world of their own, basically, and then thinking that the world is against them. Nobody is against you. You need to come to terms with your reality. You need to be able to tell yourself, okay, this is what I'm expecting. You could be expecting, you cannot, if you do 2 + 2, your expectation could be 6, but the reality is it is 4. 2 + 2 is 4. Now, where you have a distorted reality is when you start to do 1 + 1, which is supposed to be 2, and then you say 1 + 1 is 1. That is your distorted reality, and you need to deal with it. Now, the ways to improve self-esteem. Now, before I come to the ways to improve self-esteem, not everyone has self-esteem issues. Just because things are not working out or are not looking up for you in your life doesn't mean it's a self-esteem issue. Sometimes we are in a different space and different world at a particular time, and then we feel like these are self-esteem issues. You need to get it right. Not everyone suffers self-esteem issues, so don't think you suffer from self-esteem issues just because you don't belong to a particular place. Just because you look good in a particular circle doesn't mean you should belong to that circle, so don't get it wrong. Now, some of the ways to improve your self-esteem is what I say, what I call change your circle. You change your circle. Just because, like I said, you are in a particular circle doesn't mean that you fit into that circle. Now, if you are in a circle of people who do not encourage you to be better, or in a circle of people who make jest of you, who make a mockery of you, then you need to change your circle, because it will automatically and always draw you back. Now, make sure you speak positivity into your life. Somehow the universe, if you send out a wrong vibration to the universe gives you that same vibration back. So if you always tell yourself, look, I am going to be happy, then you are going to be happy. Keep speaking it to yourself. Keep telling yourself, I am a better person than I was yesterday. I am headed somewhere and I am going to get there. And trust me, you're going to get there. If you keep telling yourself, I'm not sure I'm ever going to make it, baby girl, baby boy, you are never gonna make it. So you need to look at all of those things. Now you need to get a new hobby, get a new job, do something. If you are intellectually inclined, you should think of playing games that make you reason. Games like Scrabble, Monopoly, these games help you a lot. So you can change your job or change your hobby. Watching football might not be good for you. Running and doing all those other things might not be very good for you. So you should try changing your hobby and getting a new hobby. Now don't forget to forgive yourself at every point in time. It is something I do. It is something so many people do. You're not going to be an exception if you tell yourself that you forgive yourself. The same way people come to you and say, oh, please forgive me, I have wronged you. That's the same way you should tell yourself every single day. I forgive myself for the things I did wrong yesterday. I forgive myself for the wrong decisions I have taken. Now don't also forget that you should avoid as much as possible the unlucky and unhappy people. Sorry, some people are naturally unhappy. Some people are naturally unlucky. They will never get out of that circle. It's not because they want to remain in that circle. It is because that is who they are. They never see anything good in their life. They never see anything good in themselves. So why do you want to hang around such people? They are only going to bring you down. They are only going to infect you with their unlucky and unhappy spirit. You shouldn't be around those people. Now don't also forget that you are you first of all, and you are never going to be a different person. Don't hang around people who make you feel bad. Speak positivity into your life. Be a better person. Be happy and keep telling yourself that you are going to get to where you want to get to. And that's it on Talk Back with Chidera today. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Chidera Chikwe on Instagram at Talk Back with Chidera. Tell me how you feel and we're going to talk about all of it together.